IELTS Reading Strategies and Tips, Part 3. Before you take your test, try to read as much as possible in English. You can read variety of topics from variety resources. For example, you can read some tourist information brochures, maybe some government reports, scientific research reports, which might not sound very exciting, but it can be very helpful for you. You can also read some health and safety brochures, newspapers, news, special interest magazines. So for example, if you are into fashion or you like learning more about the cars and engines or maybe sports, you can try to read such information in English. So try to read as much as possible, especially for the IELTS exam. It will be helpful for you if you read a little bit more about colleges and universities, some information about admission and how to pass certain tests. And another important point for you before taking your test is keeping a notebook of the words you learn. Try to write these words in a sentence and try to put these words into a paragraph. For example, learning words in context, not from a list. Don't be afraid to guess meanings as well. A lot of times when students try to guess the meaning, they are almost 80-90% are correct. So learn how to predict and how to guess. This is a very important skill to have. Also know that the types of questions found in the IELTS exam. So not knowing what kind of types of question you are going to have is going to be the biggest challenge for you to pass this test. And another important point for you to keep in mind before taking your test is knowing the type of information asked about on the IELTS. Know how to make predictions, so I mentioned that previously. So predicting, especially while you are listening or reading, this is a very important aspect of being successful. And again, know how to skim and scan the passages in order to look quickly for information. So skimming and scanning are the most important two strategies that can help you successfully pass your reading section. During the test, keep in mind that you need to read the title and any headings first, and you have to make sure you make predictions about the topic. Next, make sure you look over the questions quickly, make predictions about content and organization. After that, read the passages at a normal speed. Don't get stuck on parts of words you don't understand. When you answer the questions, don't spend too much time on the ones you don't feel sure about. Make a guess and go on. After you have answered all the questions, you can go back and check the ones you are not sure about. But don't spend more than 20 minutes on each passage. The last passage is longer and more complex than the first two, so remember that you need to save time for it. So probably that would be a good idea to spend 15 minutes for passage 1 and 2. So that would be 30 minutes in total, and the rest of your time you can spend for your final passage because that's going to be the most difficult one. Be sure to write your answers on the answer sheet before the 60 minutes are up. This is very important. You will not have extra time to transfer your answers. I mentioned that earlier, so keep in mind you have 60 minutes, and within the 60 minutes you have to read your passages and transfer your answers to your answer sheet. If the instructions ask you to use no more than 3 words to complete an answer, do not write more than 3 words. You will lose your points. And the final thing you have to keep in mind that you need to learn and understand true, false, not given, and yes, no, not given questions. A lot of times students get confused about them and they think they are the same, but as I explained to you earlier, they are very different and you have to make sure you know how to differentiate them. So, and actually they are the most difficult questions on the test, so make sure you practice so you can feel more confident when you are taking your test. And that's what we learned today, guys, and this is our final module for the reading. And you can go back and pause on some slides and review slowly, take notes, but I hope this was very helpful for you. And I know with a lot of practice and knowing how to approach each task, you are going to do a great job. I'm wishing you all the best luck, guys, and there was a pleasure of mine explaining to you how to pass the IELTS test. Thank you so much.